Now, do you prefer that Bumblebee or that Bumblebee?
We're flying over 1,500 miles to check out some rare cars and get some Star Wars blue milk.
However, this one's not for kids. It's got grown-up juice in there.
But was the trip worth the cost, or was it all a waste of time? Join me and my friend Mike to find out with our first stop at the Petersen Automotive Museum in Los Angeles.
And if you've been watching this channel for very long, you'll probably know that there is a time-traveling vehicle that I absolutely love, which is actually inside of this building. But that's not the only vehicle here that I'm excited to see. I mean, there's something I'm kind of into that I get excited about that might also be here.
But since they don't open for another hour, we're first going to get breakfast at the Meyers Manx Cafe. Named for the Meyers Manx dune buggy first produced in 1964, this cafe is open all week with a rotating menu for breakfast and lunch.
I've never had a chai latte that actually had like stuff on there like I'm getting a coffee. That's pretty cute. But it's a chai latte.
All right, here we go. Oh, good stuff.
Oh wow. These taste much better than they actually look. I am a big oatmeal fan, and I don't have a spoon. I need a spoon. It just has a fork and a knife at the thing. There's no spoon.
Go at it with a fork. Come on.
Oh my goodness. I guess I can take the first bite with a fork, and then I'll ask for a spoon off camera. It's interesting having oatmeal that's cold, but it also tastes really good. So, I'm gonna eat more of this, and maybe I don't need a spoon. That oatmeal was a bigger bowl than I thought it was gonna be. That's why I ordered two different things. So I actually wasn't able to finish all of it. Out of the two, the tacos were definitely the better one. Now, normally I probably wouldn't have actually come here for breakfast, but we got here early enough that the actual museum doesn't open till 10, so it seemed to make sense to go ahead and have breakfast at the cafe.
It was good.
But now it's time to actually look at some cars. And before we visit the vault, which has an added cost, let's check out the first floor. The Petersen is constantly changing their featured exhibits, such as the recent Best in Low, showcasing some of the most intricate paintwork of master craftsmen.
Does that have a fucking iPod in it?
Yup. But while we were there, one of the exhibits was Cars Are Beautiful, Mr. Brainwash at the Petersen. Here we found some of the craziest car projects I've ever seen.
Of like a child's room with the race car bed, just like my son. Oh, wait. What?
There's a number of oddball vehicles at the Petersen, including this one doing an impression of Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc. And speaking of crazy car projects, did you know that in 1961, Goodyear made a tire using a translucent neothane material and bulbs mounted inside the hub to create a glowing effect? They didn't last long for a number of cost and safety reasons, but man do they look cool. And while we're on the topic of stuff that looks really cool, they see me rolling. There is so much to see here that we've barely scratched the surface. Running through October is the exhibit for the impact of Ken Block, the People's Champ. Who hasn't seen one of his videos with several vehicles, including the tire-shredding Hoonicorn and the monstrous Hoonitruck? Sadly though, Ken Block died in a snowmobile accident before the exhibit opened, so he never actually got to see this. Which is all the more reason to visit the Petersen Automotive Museum and learn about the legacy that he and his team created. The legacy of Hollywood is also prominent at the Petersen, with some of the most widely recognizable cars from film and screen. For instance, remember that time machine I wanted to see?
See, a DeLorean. That's actually not the one I'm here to see. No, the one we're here to see is actually from the movie. It's the A car. Yeah, so this is the actual A car they restored because it was sitting in a, if I remember, it was sitting in a backlot at Universal Studios for a long time, and just kind of started rotting, and people were stealing parts off of it, and they got with a kind of a car restorer, and they went through all kinds of images and everything, and just like tried to restore it to exactly what it looked like in the movies. And this is the one that's actually driven in the movies, and it looks perfect.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you?
So from a movie car's perspective, Batmobile, obviously the time-traveling DeLorean. But in the 80s, I grew up watching a lot of Knight Rider. So much so that my mother's ringtone for me when I call her is actually the Knight Rider theme. So being able to see the one that actually was driven in the show. Where's Michael Knight when you need him? So these may just be concept cars, but I like both of these. Like, I would drive both of those. Put those quirky things into production. Look at that. It almost hit that car. Oh, I thought it was going to almost hit it.
As promised, we also bought special passes to the vault, and there's kind of a funny story about how we got them.
So something that's funny is when I was buying the tickets, I bought one for me and Mike, and then he went online and was buying one for himself as well, not realizing I bought it for both of us. And so I called in to get my ticket canceled that I had for him, and lady was very nice, took care of us. And then he texts me saying he's calling to get his canceled, and I'm texting him like, stop, no, I already did it. And he actually ended up getting on the phone with the exact same woman, and she was like, are you sure you want to cancel your ticket? Because the other guy just called and canceled, so it became this whole funny situation. Well, we're now actually at the Automotive Museum, and the person that checked us in is the person who was on the phone with us.
Just so happened to be. She's a very nice lady, and I'm really glad that she ended up figuring it out between the two of us, because we were about to make some bad mistakes.
And then, like, just cancel, not to call back and be like, can I actually buy another one now? So, anyways, it was funny. Yeah. Crazy how you like look at this vehicle and it's not really like that long, but the way the hood comes down to this point, it just seems like this vehicle goes on forever. It's a Packard 12 Landaulet. I will admit, I really like this purple on this one here. Here, take a look. All right, I'm down here seeing all these wonderful, rare, old cars. I come around the corner and I'm like, what's that piece of crap doing down here? And I just don't know, but...
Well, you can see that this was used for, its only purpose.
So I present to you the whole reason I bought a ticket to the vault at the Petersen Automotive Museum, and that is the Tucker.
I've been fascinated with this car for years, and if you don't know the story of the 1948 Tucker, there is a great movie starring Jeff Bridges based on the real-life story of Preston Tucker and his attempt to take on automotive giants.
Country stands for.
So Mike and I are having a little debate on which car is cooler. So let us know which you think is. So we got Deckard's car from Blade Runner and an XNR. Granted, it's a remake, not an original, but an XNR. Which do you think is cooler out of the two? Well, this is one of the weirdest vehicles I think I've ever seen.
Huh. I stand corrected.
Now, this may not be as old as some of the other vehicles in this collection, but when I walked by this one and it caught my eye, I would drive the heck out of that right there. And 3 hours later, we're finally done.
So that was an experience. Oh my God, just cars out the wazoo. So many unique cars, so many different types of cars. You know, ones from movies, rare cars, hypercars, really freaking old cars, just, you know, all sorts of things. And it was a lot of walking, but I think it was worth it.
So long story short, don't show up here and expect us like, oh, we're going to be in and out in like 30 minutes. There's 3 floors, plus the vault if you buy the vault pass. So expect to spend some time here. I've been wanting to go here for years.
We saw the cars, now it's time for a space-themed bar.
So I found out about this bar from watching the Fat Man Beyond podcast with Kevin Smith and Mark Bernardin, Scum Villainy Cantina. And although it is a space-themed bar, you know, kind of like Star Wars, right? The first drink I had to get was actually Ghostbusters related. Stay Puft Martini. That's a lot of alcohol in there.
This is the Mandalorian, aka a margarita. That's good.
This is the finish him. Let's see how it tastes. Tastes like pink.
I've got all the drinks. Blue milk and was it a Stay Puft Martini. However, this one's not for kids. It's got grown-up juice in there. And video game fans will appreciate this. It's a chocolate portal cake. If you played Portal and understand that chocolate portal cake, that the cake is a lie, it's because it's a brownie. I ain't afraid of no ghost. We're at the Scum Villainy Cantina, and the song from my favorite movie comes on.